So lately, labor disputes, political or otherwise, have been making waves in the media. I'm thinking specifically of those SEIU strikes in the Southwest, the Chicago teacher strike recently. Actually, a lot of teacher strikes around the country. Uh, the media really latches onto this, and it might blow it out of proportion. It might do a better job of letting us know what's going on. But what do you feel like the popular opinion and that media coverage? Do you feel like those have any effects on labor relations? I'm thinking more of a term of atmosphere here. When you're dealing with clients, do you see an increase in union organization? Do you see a decrease? Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
I haven't necessarily seen an increase in union organization, but what I have seen is an increase in the use, or at least the leverage, of strikes and pickets. But more importantly, using some of the new rules to try to gather negative attention with your stakeholders. For instance, there's been some decisions from the NLRB recently that basically have said things that you would think is a picket, they're not really pickets. You're just out there, you're just doing a demonstration, you're just, pamphleting, leafleting. You got a giant rat in front of a place. And what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of threats from people at the table saying, it'd be a shame if we got out here, we made a big racket here in front of your customers. We don't want to do that because a lot of your customers are union employees. Why don't we be friends? Why don't we settle this? So what I'm seeing is that while it's not necessarily something that as a broad reach is really reaching out any larger than it was before and really isn't palatable to everybody, my clients still don't want to have the negative publicity. You'd rather have positive. You don't want to have that. So it is still an impact. And you have some clients that say, I'm willing to take the risk. You have other clients that say, for whatever reasons, whether it's economic, whether it's because it's political, because of the people they're in business with, it's still a legitimate reason. And we just had a massive strike averted on the eve of it. And they were calling some of the largest retailers in the country, telling them, just want to let you know, if this goes on, we're going to start putting a picket up in front of your place, even though you're a secondary employer here. And so, as a change in the rules have taken place, there are some employers that are taking heed to these rules, and they're definitely becoming more aware of how this could affect people and their relationships.
So you think then, Cliff, that media coverage and that popular sentiment that has mostly an effect on the employers, then the clients here,
Yeah,
the ones who are trying to negotiate with the unions, not the unions themselves.
Yeah, and again, I can't speak to what the people out there and that are watching it. I can only speak to my clients and what I see and what I hear. And what I see and what I hear are I've got employers who don't like to have negative publicity. And so if you've got media that's going to take it, of course that's part of the process. I've got other people who don't care. They've got to run a business. At the end of the day, they understand the bottom line for long term is there. But I have seen in the last couple years, I would say, specifically in the last 18 months, I've really seen an uptick in the aggressive nature of currently organized facilities saying, well, we're going to go picket. Not necessarily go strike, but we're going to go picket. That's what I've seen. And I've seen my employers become a little bit more concerned that they're willing to do that.
And I think these also have an impact on the public, and I think that one of the issues that we've seen in the Union of California is that it's really beginning to split people. I think in a way that I think has very serious national implications. Being more specific, many people in the private sector over the last several years have seen 401ks decline, layoffs, and all of the other things that people have suffered and are familiar with. And at the same time, in the public sector, we have an incredible crisis here over union unfunded liability with respect to pension funds in the public sector. We've had several cities go bankrupt. And what has happened is that the private sector people are having disputes with the public sector people. And in the San Jose election, over there, ordinance that was passed overwhelmingly, there were even stories in the local press about individuals making negative comments about firefighters, etc. I think that this is extremely, extremely dangerous because having those kinds of divides in the country have very, very long-term social implications that are just not good. So I worry about that.
And divides, and as Michael was saying, divides within unions attacking, like the private sector attacking the public sector unions. This is nothing that is new. As unions, there was a time when unions had the core industry, and they were happy within the core industry, just like the Teamsters or the SEIU. And now that organized, union activity has opened up, there really is no union that has just a sole core industry. And so you see in the infighting, is between unions, but even between regions in the same unions or locals is just exploding. And Michael's absolutely right. It causes a discord, and that's never good.